What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, back again, and today we're going to review the Ultimate Spider-Man issue 2 by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Checchetto. You may have caught my review of issue 1 that I did when it came out about a month ago, and I really dug that issue. I gotta say, I think I like this one even more. Before we jump into it, if you can, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more comic book reviews, and hit the bell for notifications. All right, guys, so we jump into this issue. 20 years ago, the Maker prevented a radioactive spider from biting a young Peter Parker. He likewise prevented the creation of any other superhero and formed a secret council to rule the world from the shadows. In a quest to free the world from the Maker's council, Tony Stark sent Peter, who's now a married father of 2, a package containing the same radioactive spider and a Picotech suit. So that's important to know. We'll talk about the suit in just a while. After watching his uncle, Ben Parker, and mentor J. Jonah Jameson leave the Daily Bugle over pressure from the Bugle's owner, Wilson Fisk, to control the news cycle, Peter felt called to action and let the spider bite him. So I think it's interesting that they mention in the synopsis that that was one of the driving forces that led him to let the spider bite him and take on this chance. He had this gnawing feeling at his soul that something was off. But I think it's interesting that they went out of their way to say that the split from the Bugle was the final straw. All right, so we open up to the issue and it says that we're in February and we get a black suit Spider-Man. Now, thinking about the Spider-Man reveal at the end of issue 1, you kind of just think it's Spider-Man in the shadows. But no, he has an all-black suit, that Picotech suit that was mentioned before, which is going to play a role. And I think it's a nice nod to the symbiote suit. There's even more nods to it later on in this issue, but pretty cool that he starts off with the black suit, no spider emblem on the chest, just all black with the whited out eyes. And it's Peter's kids talking about Spider-Man. They're reading the Daily Bugle. It's a Spider-Man picture that Peter took, and they're talking about it. And May, his daughter, doesn't like the Spider-Man. She's scared of him. And Peter's here just watching. You know, they don't know he's Spider-Man. This is all new to him. But he's home with the kids. Mary Jane's going out. She's the breadwinner. She's going to work. But Peter is a photographer for the Bugle, but it's giving house husband here in the beginning. He's been Spider-Man for the past few weeks, and he's letting us know via narration that a lot has changed. He's learning his powers. He's learning his abilities. He's learning that he's able to take a beating, which he even foreshadows is probably going to come in handy later on. But it shows him, I mean, he's lifting a school bus up. He's practicing with his webbing. And I like Hickman showing the flaws. He's getting better at everything, but he has trouble stopping. He's swinging around. He slams into this water tower. And it's just, you know, typical Spider-Man getting beat up, ran through the ringer. But I like how he's learning his powers and we're able to witness it in this universe where he's older. He's married. He has kids. So it's not a young Peter learning these abilities. It's an interesting take. Then our scene switches over to a Russian-Turkish bathhouse, and you have this interaction between J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker. And it's one of my favorite things about this story so far. I love the relationship between Jonah and Ben, and even Parker's relationship, Peter's relationship with them as well. But they're talking about this vigilante that's making attempts on Wilson Fisk's life, and they describe him as this green-clad vigilante. And it's funny how they're picking apart the news narrative from the Daily Bugle. Like, they're showing us this Spider-Man, and they're not talking about the attempts on Kingpin's life whatsoever, and that's the real story. So I love how they're able to see right through that, and you see this meeting of the minds and how they're going to tackle this Green Goblin story, which is what it's leading up to. They mentioned that they still don't have a name for their organization. I can't wait to see what name they come up with. All right, and then we have another great interaction of Peter being this new Spider-Man. He sees somebody breaking into the building, and we get his first villain interaction. He's being friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He sees the Shocker trying to break into this building, and we're in a different universe. So this interaction, you kind of think, oh, maybe this is going to go a different way. He goes to stop the Shocker, and the Shocker's like, oh, wow, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I am doing the wrong thing. Maybe I should just hang it all up. And you're like, oh, wow. Is this going to be a different version of these villains where they can be reasoned with? No, he blasts Peter the hell away with his gauntlets, and Peter's learning quickly that these villains aren't to be trusted. Anyway, he goes back home. Nothing really comes of that battle. Just, can't believe that he fell for that. And you can see that Picotech suit removed from his mouth when he goes to eat some of this ice cream. So he's sitting in his living room and he's eating ice cream in his suit, not thinking, and little May walks out and sees this scary Spider-Man character that she's been worried about in the news on the couch. So of course Peter has to come clean and reveal his identity to her, and kind of makes it, hey, this is our little secret. Daddy, daughter, we'll tell mom and we'll tell your brother Richard later on. So that was kind of a cool interaction. But she even says, hey, I'm still scared of the suit. So kind of planting the seed of, we got to get rid of that black suit and get Peter into some red and blues already. Real quick, this one is brought to you by THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com. Their February monthly subscription box is live. Not only do you get 5 comics, $100 of retail value for just $50, but you're going to get 2 additional comics this month. They teamed up with my boy Comic Tom and Fire Guy Ryan for their Crashdown issue number 1, the Gerald Perel variant. The regular, Virgin, and foil are all limited to 100 copies, and there are only 10 medals. Everyone who subscribes to the box is going to get that regular edition, and then it's going to be a mystery on whether or not you get the Virgin, the foil, or the medal. Swing on over to ThatSpiderManBooth.com and sign up for that subscription box today. Then over to Fisk Towers, we have this interaction between the Kingpin and a Mr. Britain. So I wonder if this is Jamie Britain. Captain Britain played a role in the old Ultimate Universe. I'm actually reading some of that stuff now again. Basically just reiterating what we found out between JJJ and Ben Parker. You know, we're running this Spider-Man story because we're trying to do some smoke and mirrors so people don't really look into what's going on with this Green Goblin character. And they don't call him Green Goblin, but it's this green suited up guy. Peter Parker's doing his nightly patrol. He's texting with Mary Jane, and he spots the Shocker again. And once again, he gets fooled because the Shocker starts hitting close to home. Hey, listen, my wife is sick. I have to do these robberies because we have to pay for the treatment, this and that. And Peter's falling for it. He's like hitting him with the empathy. And he's like, wait a minute, is this real? And then boom, gets blasted again. So villains gonna be villains in this universe. And I don't think Peter's gonna be as trusting for a third time. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I don't think he's going to be as forgiving with these villains in the future. And as Shocker looks down at Peter in the dumpster, we get our first glance at the green armored vigilante that has been referred to multiple times here. Looking pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Harry Osborne, but hey, we'll see. This is a new universe. You know, something I didn't mention from the beginning, like Mary Jane says something to Peter like, hey, have you been working out? Like, he's looking stronger. He's feeling stronger. He's having to eat like 10,000 calories a day to keep up with it. Doesn't really need sleep as much. So he comes home, he starts pounding milk, and then he has a letter with a picture on the refrigerator from his daughter, May. She drew him a picture of a spider, and it's red and blue. So it looks like that'll be the inspiration for the traditional suit. But did Hickman just foreshadow what they're going to do in the future here? Because at the end of this issue, he's reading the letter. You know, he's kind of thinking maybe he's not cut out for this thing. Maybe he's not doing so well as Spider-Man. He reads the note from May and says, hey, maybe I'll give it one more day. One more day. I mean, that's the Spider-Man storyline where Peter Parker and Mary Jane split up. Had a huge impact on Spider-Man lore for years, and it was negatively received by fans. Everybody hated it. I don't know. Are they going to do one more day again in the Ultimate Universe? I mean, maybe with a twist. I don't know. I thought that was kind of telling the way that it ended with that. But yeah, that's issue 2, man. Great issue. I like this issue even more so than the first one because the first one, it was an oversized issue, and I don't know that it really needed to be. I didn't mind that it lacked action. I liked the world building, but this issue has action. It has those same great interactions with characters, whether it's J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker, whether it's Peter with Mary Jane or Peter with his daughter. Great scenes there. We even get some of the Wilson Fisk stuff, but nothing too much there with this Monsieur Britain, which I'm guessing is Jamie Britain. He's got kind of the tie that looks like it as well. Great issue. I mean, I didn't really talk much about the artwork, but Marco Checchetto, one of the greats, loved him doing the Black Spider-Man when he's got the water all over him, where he's getting beaten up. I thought the artwork was great. I'm happy that this series seems to be on a good path. I'm really looking forward to issue 3. Ultimate Black Panther 1, I didn't love as much. I will read issue 2. And Ultimate X-Men 1 by Peach Momoko comes out next month in March. I'll check it out, but I have low expectations for those titles. I'm sticking with this one. Let me know what you guys thought about the Ultimate Spider-Man issue 2 in the comments down below. If you read it, if you haven't read it, what are you doing, man? Go read it. This has got to be one of the best superhero comics on the stands right now. Again, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay nifty fresh. Peace.